everybody, here's what we're going to do, and I want to hear from some people in the chat too. We're going to do our top 10 NFL teams right now through week 17. All right. I have mine. John, do you have your top 10 in mind?
Yeah, how are we doing it from bottom to top? Because I didn't do it. I should have wrote it down, but
yeah, you're kind of free ball. Whatever's easier for you. I'll let you go first. Or I can go first if you want me to give you some time to organize your thoughts.
We can go. Go ahead, do yours.
All right, I'll go first. I'm gonna start lowest to highest. All right. So number 10, I put the Buccaneers. They edged out over the Chargers for me. I put the Bucs. I like their defense. I think the offense is humming. Baker Mayfield's having a great year, and I'm blanking on the guy's name, but the guy who's the receiver who stepped up in place of Chris Godwin has been really good. And Mike Evans is still playing.
Yeah,
I think that's it. Yep. Mike Evans is still playing at a high level. Number 9, I have the LA Rams, 10-7. They still got Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. Puka Nacua is obviously a great receiver. I got the Rams at number 9. Number 8, this was a bit of a toss-up between these two teams, but I'm going Commanders at number 8. Jane Daniels has been impressive. Rookie campaign. They've completely turned that team around. They have 12 wins on the year after having 3 wins last year. So very impressive turnaround for the Commanders. I have them at number 8 going into week 18 here. Number 7, I have the Packers. Okay. And if you're who's counting, but that's 4 straight NFC teams. Number 7, I have the Green Bay Packers. I like Jordan Love. The thing I don't like about him, John, is sometimes he looks great. Sometimes he doesn't look so great. He's a little bit of a streaky player still right now. But I do like that Packers team. They have some talent. When they put it together, they're a good squad. So I have the Packers at number 7. Number 6, I have the Baltimore Ravens. Anytime you have Lamar Jackson, you're a wild card to win. But they still got some issues over on Baltimore, that defense and some other issues. But I like them at number 6. Number 5, I have the Buffalo Bills. The reason I have them as low as 5 is because I don't know how Josh Allen's going to win 4 straight meaningful games alone. He doesn't have a great defense. He doesn't have great playmakers. He doesn't have any great talent around him. He has just been incredible. So I have the Bills at number 5. Number 4, I have the Minnesota Vikings edged out. The Eagles edged them out, but I put the Vikings at 4. They're a well-rounded team, good offense, good defense. Sam Darnold's playing at a high level. Number 3, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're obviously one of the better teams in the league, one of the better rosters in the league, but that passing game, I want it to be better before I put them above the top 2. And number 2, I have the Lions. Their defense has knocked them to number 2 for me. And then number the Kansas City Chiefs, the 15-1 Kansas City Chiefs that just can't lose. John, that's my top 10. Bucs 10, Rams 9, Commanders 8, Packers 7, Ravens 6, Bills 5, Vikings 4, Eagles 3, Lions 2, Chiefs number 1.
Well, to me, I got clear demarcation lines, so I'm going to go top to bottom.
Okay.
Number 1 is Detroit. For reasons I've spoken about again and again, their point differential is just absurd,
insane.
And they have the largest margin of error, which is how I sort of do it. And they're the best team in football. If they're playing their best, how I describe it, both teams have their A game. They're winning. They're beating everybody. They're the best team. Even with the injuries, which is crazy because they would be a prohibitive favorite if they were healthy.
Yeah.
That's how good I think Detroit is. Number 2 is Kansas City. I'm with you. And they're getting healthy at the right time.
Yep.
And they have the ultimate trump card in Patrick Mahomes. So you always put that in the category. I'm going to flip a little bit. I'm going to put Minnesota above the Eagles simply because of what their division and what they had to go through is more impressive than what the Eagles have had to. I mean, the NFC North against the NFC East.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I don't think the Eagles couldn't beat them. In fact, I think the Eagles match up with them well in a potential NFC Championship game scenario. But for what they've accomplished, I at this given date, I would have to give them the slight advantage over the Eagles. And then 5, I'm going
You missed
Baltimore.
4. Who'd you go? Oh, did you go 4 Eagles?
Yeah, 4 Eagles. 5, I'm going Baltimore. And I know Buffalo's not I don't think Buffalo's a good football team. I think they have a good quarterback who's winning games by himself.
Yeah.
Um, I don't even think they're that good.
I think he's
Now,
another version of a trump card, though. That's why I had him at 5.
yeah,
I don't mind him at 6. That's not bad.
Baltimore much better overall team. Uh, and I don't even want to put Buffalo at 6, but I'm kind of put them at 6. I was
You don't have to.
debating.
I thought that's where you were going. Is that
No, I'll put them there because I just said with Minnesota, you have to give them credit for the success that they have had. And I think Green Bay's a better team. Green Bay's my 7. But you have to give Buffalo credit and even though Green Bay's losses it's crazy. 2 against Minnesota, 2 against Detroit, 1 against the Eagles, 13 or 14 win teams. So while I haven't been able to get over the hump against the best teams, they're still a very good team. And then I think you have a clear drop. I think you have a clear drop off, to be honest, from 5 to 6. And then you have another drop off at that point after Green Bay.
yeah? I agree.
And 8, boy, I don't like a lot of these teams, but because of the quarterback, I like their upside. And now they have a coach who understands how to win, and Jim Harbaugh. I'm going to go Chargers
Nice.
8.
I don't dislike that. That's good. I gave the Bucks them over them at 10, but you could. I don't mind them in there at all.
Yeah, I just like their upside.
Yeah, I agree.
9, I'm going to go Bucks. A lot of limitations, but I do like the season that Baker Mayfield is having. And 10, I'm going to go the Rams.
Nice.
I don't think Washington is a top 10 team.
So
Which is
Commanders
why,
drop out of the top 10.
yeah, I don't even. I'm trying to think. Would I put them 11? Yeah, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I don't like.
Yeah,
Denver. A lot of maybe.
got to go Commanders at 11 if you want. Right?
I might go Cincinnati at 11.
And they're. I tell you what, man. I think the Chiefs should blow their game this week to keep.
Oh yeah,
the
so do
Bengals
I.
out. Yeah,
that's not their mentality. They probably.
It's not, but shit, man. Why would you try and win?
I
and
know.
then have the potential to face freaking Joe Burrow and the Bengals? I don't want them.
Yeah.
Although maybe that way. But is there another way to look at it? Because if the Bengals did get in, John, they'd play Josh Allen in round 1 and the Bills.
Yeah.
Can kind of.
I mean, there is something too. You can't think, and fans get mad. You can't think like a fan, but I'll even say you can't think like a media person. Like the Chiefs don't think that way. They can't think that way. They're a better team. So like I say, it's people say, well, I'm scared of Green Bay. I don't want to play Green Bay, or I'm scared of 3. The Eagles don't think that way, nor should they, nor can they. But yeah, that's more fan / media driven than team driven. But sometimes it bites you in the ass. I brought up Matt Nagy and the Chicago Bears. They probably should have played their backups, and they got the Eagles in the first round, and it was a very close game, but that was the double doink game, and they lost. And they had an easier road if they just would have rested their starters.
John, you had the Bucks at 9. You like that team as a playoff team this year? They're always a scary team with Todd Bowles, but what do you think of that team as a playoff contender?
I don't know if they're scary.
Not scary. That's not the right
I
word.
think
I just
because of
mean
their
that they have a solid. They figure out how to win games in uncanny ways, and Baker's playing real well.
well, I think Baker's having a good year, but I think people in Philadelphia have overrated the Bucks because of what has gone on in recent playoff history.
Right.
And the first time it was Tom Brady, and they were just a much better team against a team in Nick Sirianni's first year that wasn't even supposed to make the playoffs. So, all right, yeah, they beat the brakes off the Eagles. They should have, and they did. And then last year, I mean, AJ's not playing, and yeah, last year I kind of, they played poorly. I'm not trying to, but the collapse, we all know. I don't want to re-legislate that. I don't think it was because Tampa Bay was really good. I think the Eagles were just by that point, and once AJ went down,
Yeah, they were toast.
yeah, they were. In hindsight, they were toast.
But they do make Jalen Hurts not look good when he plays versus them, man.
Well, yeah, but the first year,
32-9, John. I mean,
yeah, but I'm saying the first year again, it's Tom Brady. It's the Tom Brady box. It's
no. Well, last year wasn't.
no last year. Yeah, again, AJ's not on the field. They stink when AJ's not on the field.
Yeah.
This is well known.
Devontae still had. What did he have last year? He had 8 for 148 in the playoff game.
Yeah, but even that, a lot of that's garbage time. They got blown off the field.
Yeah.
They got blown off the field.
Completely blown off the field.
Yeah.
That's and Baker Mayfield shredded for 337 and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and they couldn't tackle. People forget they lost Reed Blankenship and Sidney Brown, and they're playing Avonte Maddox at safety, and they couldn't tackle.
Buckhalter brings up a good point. The Bucs are the only team to slow down the full-strength Lions. He's right about that. They beat them this year. They were the only team to beat them when the Lions were full strength.
Yeah, I mean, it's an outlier. They also had a poor game against Houston, but were able to persevere. Yeah, I think people put too much emphasis on one game and say I'm going to pick out one game of 17 or one game of, and say, oh, Todd Bowles did this, and that translates to Todd Bowles is going to do this against everybody else in the playoffs. Like, I expect Minnesota to lose to Detroit on Sunday night, and then that poor team gets knocked down to the 5th seed. They're probably playing the Bucs in Tampa Bay.
Yep.
I don't think Sam Darnold's going to have a lick of trouble dealing with Todd Bowles. A lick of trouble. So, yeah.
You had the Vikings at number 3, man. It's, are you believing? Are you a believer in Sam Darnold at this point? It's hard to not be. I don't. Yeah.
I was ground floor. I'm riding this thing to the end. I mean,
you think they have a chance to go
to win the Super Bowl? No, but boy, I think it's a great story, similar to Zach Ball here. When everybody doubts somebody or everybody labels somebody. Now, it's a little bit different because Sam was the 3rd overall pick in the draft, which is one of the reasons why, and Jody can tell you, I said when San Francisco got him, I told Jody, I said, be careful, man. Kyle Shanahan's going to get around this guy, and
I remember I was producing the show.
Yeah. And he's going to go, Jesus, this guy's got way more talent than Brock Purdy.
Jody didn't like that. Jody was a big Brock Purdy guy.
Yeah, he was a huge Brock Purdy guy. And the thing is, and I guarantee Kyle, when he's by himself, I said this on the show, it's like, Jesus, I should have pulled the trigger, because I guarantee he knows it. But when you're winning games, you can't bench a guy. And that's where I kind of root for Sam Darnold in that.
You just got to be Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I mean, if you win the Super Bowl, they ain't moving on from you. because you got the whole J.J. McCarthy aspect of it. And the irony with dumb teams is that, oh, well, we can get a more cost-effective quarterback and we can do these other things, and Kevin O'Connell can turn him into a serviceable guy. Your whole goal is to turn him into what Sam Darnold is right now. That's your hope. So why the hell would you move on from that?
I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna pay Sam Darnold a big ass bag of money this offseason.
Well, and that's the part, and you'll have everybody, oh, well, he's going to do this. And he's not, there's not a quarterback in the history of football who's not going to have a bad game. And he's going to have a bad game at some point. And people are going to say, oh, see? And ignore the 13 games he's had over a 100 passer rating.
4,200, yeah. 42.
Tie Aaron Rodgers' record. If he can do it against Detroit, probably will do it against Detroit because that game will probably be 45-40 on Sunday night. But yeah, over a long term, yeah, I think he's really good. But I thought he was really good the entire time. I thought he was in shitty situations. I thought he was phenomenal coming out. You can see the arm talent. Now people can see it. He's athletic. So he's not, the Lamar Jackson athletic, but he can move the chains if he has to with his feet. He's got great pocket presence. The one thing is he holds on to the football a ton, and he's susceptible to getting strip sacks. But that's because he's that guy. He's gonna allow those long patterns to develop down the field, and they're gonna hit you with big chunks when it works. But yeah, he's a really good player.
John, you put the Lions over the Chiefs.
Yeah, Lions are the best team in football. Lions, like I said, if they were healthy, they would be so the prohibitive favorites.
I think that, yeah, I agree.
And again, to me, it's margin of error. And when
Can I ask a question about the Lions?
Sure.
People aren't going to like this. I don't care. Why does nobody, me included, all right, I am a part of this. Why do we not give Jared Goff credit? Like, I feel like when we talk about the Eagles, everyone's like, Jalen Hurts is 47-19 and all, it's always the record, and it's always how great Jalen is with the record. And I'm not knocking Jalen, but we talk about the Lions, and everyone's like, oh, look at all the playmakers. Look at how good the coach is. Look at how good this is. Look at how good. And nobody gives credit. I feel like Jared Goff gets no credit over there. But every time I turn him on, I'm like, he makes the right throw. He's accurate, on time, gets the football out. Like, he's the reason that offense is humming so good.
Yeah, because they when people declare something, they want to be right. And so one thing I've learned about the NFL is people don't believe in development. So same thing we just talked about, same thing with Sam. This is the number 1 overall pick in the draft. He had a difficult start to his career.
Right.
Everybody labeled him a bust. They don't believe in development. So then the period is put on.
Funny, John. He got labeled a bust and he went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, exactly. But then you start, even Sean McVay wanted to move on because he wanted to, and they won a Super Bowl as well by moving on. So It's worked out for both teams.
The rare trade, yeah, where both win.
So, and the same thing with Sam, because he failed and with bad organizations. At the time, the Rams were very bad when Jared got there with Jeff Fisher. And yeah, he got better. He slowly and incrementally got better. And then, they have this tremendous supporting cast around him. So the thing with Jared Goff is you got to move him off of spots and you got to hurry up. He's the most accurate quarterback in football. If he's on time and he's on platform, you're done. You're done.
Dude, he can hit any window. His accuracy is scary good when he's on his spot.
Yeah. So the whole goal is to speed him up, and maybe
They got
somebody
the perfect
can.
receiver for that, though, John. They really do. St. Brown just finds the areas on the field to go, man. He really does.
Yeah, and they have a great offensive coordinator,
Yep.
great play caller, great schemer. They have a great offensive line. They had you know, um, Sonic and Knuckles at one point, Knuckles and Sonic. We'll see if Montgomery they can beat you every way. They have a great tight end. Um, they have everything.
They lose Montgomery, and they still look like they haven't missed a beat on offense.
No, well, in a lot of ways, Gibbs is more. Not in a lot of ways. He's obviously more explosive, and
Yeah.
as long as he can handle the workload, they're actually better when he's on the field.
Right.
Um, so I mean, they're a tough team to beat, and even defensively, yeah. I mean, if Aiden Hutchinson's there again, he might have been the best player in football coming into his injury. But Kirby Joseph, they have playmakers. Brian Branch is a guy I talk about all the time. Jack Campbell's turned into a great pick. Zadarius Smith, they've at least gotten a player who can get that. They'll get Anzalone back, Melifano, DJ Reader. People think they don't have defensive players because of all the injuries. They still do.
Yeah, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, DJ. We talked about him yesterday. They
Yeah.
still got plenty of good playmakers on defense.
Yeah. So you can imagine how good they'd be with what they had, but they're just so explosive. Now, if it ends up being Detroit, Kansas City in the Super Bowl, I'll probably pick Kansas City.
Right, it's hard to pick against them.
But I do think Detroit has the better team. I do think Detroit, but I thought, when the Eagles lost to the Chiefs, I thought the Eagles had the better team from top to bottom, from 1 through 53.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is the great equalizer, John.
Yeah. So, the best team doesn't always win, but 1 through 53, even with all the injuries, it's still Detroit, which tells you how good Detroit is.
I don't like the matchup with Detroit because don't you feel like Jared Goff's the perfect type of quarterback to beat up on the zone defense? Like,
Yep.
it kind of reminds me of Week 4 versus Tampa. I know we didn't have AJ and Devontae in that game. Like, but I'm saying from a defensive perspective, Baker was so successful in that game because he just dropped back, got the ball out quick. They got to the zones, got to the spots against the defense, and they got the ball out quick. That's going to be the Lions' game plan, and they have some of the best receivers at doing that, man. They really do. And Jared Goff is money in those situations.
Yeah, that's a Jalen Carter game, man.
It is.
Jalen Carter almost has to wreck that game and that potential.
He's got to do it in like under 2 seconds because Goff gets that ball out, man.
Yeah. Yep. But, even if it's not about getting there, it's about making them uncomfortable.
Right.
And as long as you can make them uncomfortable, you got a chance. So that to me would be a big Jalen Carter game. Or you're going to have to play, and you'll see it Sunday night, I think, because I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in that game. And, you have to be a Minnesota type that can score 40 and maybe win 40-38. Maybe the ball falls your way at the end. One of those two things has to happen. And I don't think the Eagles are equipped to win a 40-38 game right now.
Yeah.
They should be.
They should be.
And I know that's going to upset people. They should be, but they're not. Can you imagine them going up and down the field like what happened against San Francisco?
Dude, John, I'm sorry, but I mean, I can't live in delusion land. We don't look close.
Well, you can. You can.
We don't look close to that. That's not, and I'm not saying that as a not. I'm just saying as a reality. That's not what our team looks like at all.
No.
We're more of an old school football team where we have a great defense. We hold you and we run the ball on you, and eventually it's too much. And
that's the belief. You're gonna get they're gonna shut down the people. They're gonna shut down the team like Tampa did. Tampa shut them down, ignoring I don't know where they are, 533 points that they have scored. Yeah. The odds are not great that you're going to be able to hold that offense down. Not that you can't, but saw it against Washington a couple weeks ago, which is a very limited team. Good offense beats good defense in this league now.
Absolutely. Good stuff there, Johnny Mac. Good top 10 list from Johnny Mac. I'll recap it real quick. This was John's list. Was Rams 10, Bucks 9, Chargers 8, Packers 7, Bills 6, Ravens 5, which was surprising, by the way. Bills behind the Ravens. Eagles 4, Vikings 3, Chiefs 2, Lions 1. And then mine was Buccaneers 10, Rams 9, Commanders 8, Packers 7, Ravens 6, Bills 5, Vikings 4, Eagles 3, Lions 2, Chiefs 1. So 2 good lists there. Good stuff. We appreciate everybody in the chat. John, we got a couple super chats we'll get to. And then a reminder for everybody, I got to end the show about 10 minutes early today for the practicing Catholics in the building. I got to get to church. It's a holy day of obligation. So the only one I can make is 10 a.m., so I got to end the show at around 48 to 50. So we'll get out of here about 10 minutes early today. Happy New Year to everybody. And Martine checks in. All right. He says, and Martine, thank you, brother. $10. He says, if Bond walks, do you think maybe this is the year they finally spend high draft capital on an off-ball linebacker? Thinking about Georgia Bulldog Butkus Award winner Jalen Walker or Oregon Duck Jeffrey Bassett. 2 really good players there, and Martine.
We're already talking draft. No. Now, linebacker enters the conversation in typically the 3rd round for the Eagles now. Could be 2nd round. Yeah, it could be on the off-putting. Certainly not 1st round, if that's what you're asking. And especially not this year.
Oh, Jalen Walker's going 1st round.
Edge rushers, that's where the Eagles are going.
Yeah, we need edges.
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles are going normally, and Howie has said this, you can look it up. We're going to roll offensive, defensive line, typically, if it's even. And now that the need matches up, because remember, Josh Sweat is scheduled to be a free agent. Bryce Huff hasn't lived up to the billing. Brandon Graham may retire, may not retire now, but he's not a full-time player. They need an edge rusher, and a big-time edge rusher. And that's where they're going to focus their. Now the board's got to fall the right way, but again, there's too many other positions. You saw it last year with corner. 1976, Jerry Robinson, or it might have been 78, whatever the hell it was. Last time they took an off-ball linebacker in the 1st round. Now, that is many years before Howie Roseman was even an inkling in Philadelphia, but it's even more so. This team is not going to use a 1st-round pick on an off-ball linebacker.
Yeah, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. We got plenty of time to break down the draft. But our team, big thanks to you, brother. We appreciate your support as always. James Carver with $20. James, thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man. He says Slay admitted he and Q screwed up the first 2 drives on goes and doubles versus the remainder of the game and season. But does that worry you, J-Mac, on the Vikings matching up well compared to Lions in playoffs, who do a lot more under, it seems?
Well, the Vikings are the Vikings are tough from a receiving standpoint. I mean, they got the best receiver in the world, and Jordan Addison's pretty stinking good himself for people who haven't noticed. And then you have TJ Hawkinson, who's a monster at tight end. And even Jalen Naylor can, he can run by anybody. This is his nickname, Speedy. So, everybody's doubling Jefferson from when he gets off the bus, and the Eagles will certainly do that. They're not going to give Jefferson any opportunity to get on a go route at any point. I know Bacon well enough to know that. So they'll bracket him coming off the bus in that type of matchup. So you really have to, how does that affect you with Addison and Hawkinson? And you have a very accurate quarterback. But what I like about that matchup is the other end. The Vikings have very bad cornerbacks. That's what I think you focus on. That's the weakness of their team.
Right.
So they're not going to match up well against AJ and DeMonte at all. And then they have a good pass rush, but it's generally generated by the blitz, and the Eagles are better equipped to deal with that with their offensive line than just about anybody else in football. So I like the style matchup from the Eagles' perspective. I think they can take advantage of the Vikings' weaknesses pretty significantly. But yeah, I don't think that would be an easy day for the Eagles secondary.
No, it would not. But that would also mean, I mean, Jalen Hurts going to have a big game, John. Big passing game. If you want to beat the Vikings, you got to pass, as you just mentioned. So we're going to have to see him kind of break away from really what they've been and pass that rock, man.
Yeah, and I think they would. I mean, Minnesota's best cornerback is Stephon Gilmore, who was once the defensive player of the year, but he's now 34, 33, 34. Very similar to Slay in that aspect. He's a good player, knows how to play. So, little similar to Detroit in the aspect that, all right, they might give up some yardage, but then because they got a bunch of guys, Harrison Smith, he's also 33, 34. But man, he's going to the Hall of Fame someday, and he knows how to play. Stephon Gilmore knows how to play. Cashman, I just mentioned there, Cashman, Van Ginkel, Grenard. They got a lot of playmakers. And they tend to make plays in big spots, even though they give up some yardage here and there.
Good stuff. We got another super chat. But Andrew said, are we dismissing the Packers, or did I sleep through that part? No, we discussed them a little bit. I mean, they're
I love the Packers. So they just got to play the right way, and they have.
I know they're streaky, man. They're streaky.
They're very similar to the Eagles in that they seem to have no desire to get the quarterback in a rhythm early in the game, which is bizarre to me.
Yeah, it is. Eagles do that. Boy, the Eagles love doing that.
And when he gets in a rhythm, hold your head because shit's coming. But for whatever reason, and again, the unintended consequences to a lesser degree, Josh Jacobs has had a great year there. Everybody's talked about the year of the running back. Josh Jacobs has had a great year there, and it has affected their passing game. Like, they should be right there with one of the most explosive passing offenses in football. The skill position players in the NFC North are outrageous. They got 2 tight ends. They got 5 receivers. 5 who can make plays.
That's what scares me about the Lions is Laporta.
Oh, Laporta is great.
He's great.
Tucker Kraft is great.
Yeah.
And Luke Musgrave's actually better, but he's been hurt all year.
Yeah, and Ben Johnson's a guy that will target our linebackers in coverage. I mean, I know our linebackers are having a good year, but anytime you get a linebacker in coverage, they're susceptible. I don't care who it is, and that's what Ben Johnson's going to go for.
But I mean, crazy with Jaden Reed and Wicks and Watson if he's healthy, and Melton. Who am I missing? They got a 5th one. Yeah, but they don't get the quarterback in a rhythm till the second half, and it's bizarre. It's bizarre to watch. Very similar to here. But I kind of get it more in Philadelphia because you're having a guy with a truly historic year, whereas Josh Jacobs is just having a good year for a running back. It's bizarre to me. And then they're down 27-10, and it's panic time, and all of a sudden they go, hurry up, tempo. You see it all the time with the Eagles. The minute they go tempo, here comes the offense. Same thing with Green Bay. Oh, but they wait till they're down 27-10. It's like, what the hell, dude? So I don't know if he's going to wake up before the Eagles game, but if he does, and I'm talking about Matt LaFleur,
Yeah, I don't know either.
then that might be a problem. That might be a
Battle,
problem.
yeah. I wonder how that game would go. Eagles Packers. Well, we're about to find out. We might that looks like it might be the first round matchup. So Anthony Amato, one more super chat, and then I got to get out of here. Anthony Amato says trade hurts after the year. Tanner Mania, pay defense, keep this party together. Holy shit.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah, that's where we are with this offense. Trade the quarterback and play Tanner McKee. Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to be a Super Bowl contender or not?
Anthony wants a better passing game would be my presumption.
Well, I think we all do. But, I do think you should realize that the alternative is not easy to find. And I wouldn't conflate 2 touchdowns in a meaningless game where Dallas had already given up to sustained success in the NFL. Yeah.
I like the Tanner. I like the what do we call them, guys? McKeisters? Is that what it was? McKeisters?
Boy, it is amazing. They
Wait,
skipped right over
Brian Pumper wins the jersey yesterday, right? And he's anonymous. Pumper doesn't like to be, and I'm cool with that. I'm gonna keep everybody. If you want to be anonymous on the chat, that's fine by me.
Well, he's got to be.
Yeah. But he emails me and he sends me the funniest email, man. It's funny. He goes, "I need a Tanner the Hammer jersey instead."
Tanner McKee. Oh boy.
I'm like, all right, Pump. I'll organize it for you, man. Whatever you want, man. You're our jersey winner. So that's pretty funny stuff. But good show today, man. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you guys for starting the year off with us, man. That's very cool of everybody. John, good show today, brother. I gotta get out of here a little early, as I mentioned, but excellent show today, John. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Let's have a big 2025. All right, brother.
All right, Happy New Year, and let's not worry about the free agency stuff till after the playoffs. Then we can get into that. But hopefully, it's a long run for the Eagles. Should be fun, at least at the bare minimum.
I agree 100%. Thanks, everybody, for being here this morning, for tuning in on the New Year. I hope you guys have a happy, healthy New Year. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys for all the support you give Jacob, man. It means the world to me, to John, and to Cilio. So thank you guys so much for everything, and Happy New Year. We will catch you next time on Birds 365. Johnny Mac, good stuff, brother. Catch you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.